Good morning. Hope you had a great weekend. It was a week ago that my friend, Dr. Earl Elliott, better known as Sandy, passed away. He was only 72 years old. He had pulmonary fibrosis. He had suffered with it for a couple of years. We had his service there at St. Luke's in Watchorn Chapel on Saturday. It was a private service just for family because of this COVID virus. Sandy was an amazing guy. He was a physician who lived and loved very deeply. He tried many different things in order to deal with this disease. But it was this earlier February when he and his wife Jane went to the doctor that the doctor told them the drugs were not working. They really did not have any other treatment options, and that he really needed to get his affairs into order. Neither he or Jane spoke as they walked back to the elevator. When they got on the elevator to go down, it was Sandy who spoke first. He looked at Jane and said, "Well, I guess I won't get to go 2.7 seconds on a bull named Fu Manchu." Jane just looked at him and said, "You're going to have to help me here. I have no idea what you're talking about." She wasn't quite as familiar with good country western songs. You may remember Tim McGraw. He's married to Faith Hill. He wrote a wonderful song entitled "Live Like You Were Dying." It was inspired by the fact that his father, Tug McGraw, developed brain cancer and passed away when he was only 59 years old. And in the song, he said, "I think I would go skydiving, Rocky Mountain climbing. I'd ride 2.7 seconds on a bull named Fu Manchu. And I'd love deeper, and I'd speak sweeter, and I'd offer forgiveness that I'd been denying." It really was a song that tried to inspire and remind us all how important it is that we live fully each and every day, because you never know when the end is going to come, when something will come out of the blue and we are taken away from those that we love. It was an inspirational song, and it's interesting that Sandy would think of that because he was someone who had already been living fully. He had lived his bucket list. He had done so much in his life, whether it was traveling or whether it was being there for his family at dance recitals or baseball games. No, he had lived fully. He was not one of those who had waited until the end. And he did love deeply, so much that he loved his family and his friends, and he spoke sweetly. He was always so very kind. And he was someone who didn't have to go make amends. He had already done that all along the way. No, he had lived fully. He had lived like he was dying. But it sure reminded me how important that is for all of us to do. We've been given the gift of this day. And you don't know how many more days you're going to have. I don't know how many days I will have. And maybe it's time to go Rocky Mountain climbing. Maybe it's time to go skydiving. Maybe it's time to go ride 2.7 seconds on a bull named Fu Manchu. But most importantly, it is time to love more deeply, to speak more sweetly, and to offer that forgiveness that you've been denying. It was interesting when they found out that Sandy's time really was limited. They decided to make one more trip. Couldn't really fly anywhere. And this was before everything got so bad with the COVID virus, but they went ahead and drove to Nashville. Went up to Nashville and went to the Bluebird Cafe. Rita Wilson was going to be performing there. You remember, that's Tom Hanks' wife. The Bluebird Cafe is world famous, known for country western artists who come and who sing and perform some of the songs they've developed, or it's where new performers are discovered. It's where Garth Brooks was actually discovered. But it's a wonderful place to go, and that's where they went. And they were sitting at their table, and a little ways from a distance there was another table, and Sandy looked over and he said to Jane, I recognize him. Somewhere I know him. I'm not sure where it's from." Thinking it was one of his patients, Sandy, who was always Mr. Friendly, got up and walked over to the table next to him and said, "Excuse me, I'm sorry, but I feel like I should know you. My name is Sandy." And the man spoke up and said, "Well, my name is Tim, and this is my wife Faith." It was Tim McGraw. How important it is to love more deeply, to speak more sweetly, to offer that forgiveness that you've been denying. Maybe we all will remember today, and maybe this week, to live like you were dying. Go out and make it a wonderful day.